Have you ever woken up and realized that joy, that deep foundational sense of well-being, doesn't feel like joy anymore? You're not technically depressed or sad, yet you feel profoundly unfull. There's a persistent, low-grade spiritual hunger that nothing seems to satisfy. You might laugh, you might even smile for a picture, but something deep within you knows that reaction is a performance. A thin veneer of contentment stretched over a widening emptiness. And that empty feeling is never random. In Scripture, emptiness is a vital signal, a quiet, insistent warning that something deeper is shifting inside your spirit. This draining doesn't happen with a sudden collapse. Joy, the biblical kind, leaks. It dissipates slowly, quietly, until you one day wake up and realize the reservoir is nearly dry. It starts small. The worship songs that used to break you open now feel like background noise. The scriptures that once stirred your soul barely move you. Your heart feels bone-tired and heavy, but you can't point to a specific reason why. And the scariest part is that numbness doesn't shout. It whispers until you are deafened by its silence. Even King David, who once danced before God with unashamed, reckless passion, eventually cried out, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation." Psalm 51:12. He didn't ask for miracles or strength. He asked for joy. He knew that joy is the first thing to fade, the first defense line to crumble when your heart begins its silent, perilous drift from God. Your morality might hold steady, your routine might continue, but your joy is the canary in the coal mine. This is the mechanism of spiritual emptiness. Your life might outwardly appear stable and blessed, yet your inner spirit feels hollow because joy drains long before your external life shows the deep, revealing cracks. So, let's explore this deeply. Let's talk about the 3 often overlooked biblical reasons your joy is quietly fading. 3 reasons joy fades. 1. Your spirit is full, but not with God. You've muted your soul. Joy is not merely an emotion, it is a spiritual atmosphere. When your spirit, the deepest part of your being, is relentlessly filled with distraction, noise, endless entertainment, and constant digital stimulation, joy gets ruthlessly suffocated. You are perpetually scrolling, consuming content, and reacting to external stimuli, but you are not resting, reconnecting, or refilling from the eternal well. This creates a state of chronic spiritual exhaustion. Jesus addressed this principle directly. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. What you allow to enter your mind, what you choose to focus on, is the fuel that either stokes the fire of joy or drains it entirely. You are not losing joy because your life is empty. You're losing joy because your spirit is already full, but full of things that are spiritually inert and cannot produce the deep, enduring joy that only comes from God. We are so afraid of silence. We fill every moment, and in doing so, we mute the soul that was designed to hear the quiet voice of God. Ask yourself, what are you letting be the loudest voice in your life right now? 2. You're fighting battles on your own dime, running on spiritual fumes. The relentless weight you feel, the constant heaviness and effort is often misunderstood. It's not primarily because everything is going wrong, but because you are attempting to sustain yourself and fight your battles while running on critically low spiritual fumes. Nehemiah 8:10 gives us the counter-principle. The joy of the Lord is your strength. It's a spiritual law. When joy fades, your spiritual strength fades with it. And when that core strength wanes, even the most mundane, simple things start to feel utterly overwhelming and disproportionately exhausting. This lack of excitement, this feeling that everything requires immense effort, is the signature of an exhausted heart. Your body might be rested, but your spirit remains tired. You are trying to carry the entirety of life, your stress, your burdens, your obligations, in the fragile container of your own human power. Joy can only be continuously sustained when you are actively and daily connected to His infinite strength. You were not designed to be self-sufficient. You were designed to be God-dependent. 3. God is whispering, but you're blocking the signal. Fading first love. Sometimes joy leaves not because your life has shattered, but because your heart is drifting in a slow, insidious current away from the source. God in His love doesn't start with a yell, He whispers. And one of God's loudest whispers is the unnerving absence of joy. In Revelation 2:4, He says to the church, "You have abandoned the love you had at first, not your faith, but your love." When that primary, passionate relationship cools, true spiritual joy inevitably collapses because joy is fundamentally a byproduct of that love. The emptiness you feel is not punishment. It is quite literally an invitation. It is God utilizing your discomfort to say, "Come back. You are drifting farther than you realize, and I miss you." The fading of joy is often the kindest, most relentless action of God to get our attention and draw us back to the only place where true satisfaction resides. 3 ways God rebuilds your heart. The glorious good news is this: God never allows joy to fade without also providing a clear pathway back to its fullness. Joy is not something you chase, it is something He restores. Scripture shows us exactly how this restoration works. 1. God restores joy when you return to radical honesty. Deep, abiding joy cannot survive in a heart that is built on the foundation of secrecy and hiding. The more you attempt to bury your genuine feelings, the more you avoid confrontation with your struggles, the more that life-giving joy slips through your fingers. David detailed this toll in Psalm 32. "When I kept silent, my bones wasted away. My strength was sapped." He wasn't losing joy because external life was hard. He was losing joy because his heart was closed and burdened by unspoken truth. This is spiritual suffocation. When you're perpetually pretending to be okay, when you're smiling while your soul is silently carrying unspoken battles, your spirit begins to starve. Joy demands space, openness, and honesty. The moment David broke his silence, "Then I acknowledged my sin and you forgave the guilt," everything shifted. The power is in the release that comes from the confession. Honesty does not make you weak. Honesty makes you profoundly free. The most spiritual act you can take is simply to whisper, "God, I'm genuinely not okay and I don't want to pretend anymore." God restores whatever you stop hiding from Him. 2. God restores joy when you return to His presence. Your heart was created to function in God's presence the way your physical lungs were created to function in oxygen. Anything that forces your heart outside of that atmosphere will feel like suffocation. Psalm 16:11 contains the most beautiful summary. "In your presence is fullness of joy," not temporary joy, but overflowing, stabilizing, and profoundly healing joy. This fullness is something the world cannot offer. When you drift from God's presence, you can survive for a while, but you simply cannot thrive. Your joy will thin out because joy is not a feeling that you generate. Joy is a byproduct of connection. Think back to the moments when God felt closest to you, that clarity, that quiet peace, that stability. That was presence. Presence is always accessible. It is not found in achieving a perfect environment. It is found in adopting a simple posture. The return starts with a whisper, "God, I miss you." God never resists a returning heart. He runs to it. 3. God restores joy when He realigns your purpose. Joy fades when life begins to feel meaningless, but joy returns the moment you remember you were created for something far bigger, something eternal. Isaiah 61:3 promises that God gives the oil of joy for mourning. He doesn't just heal your wounds, He reassigns you, He realigns your heart with the eternal, meaningful work that heaven is doing. purpose is the great igniter of joy. You realize that your life is not merely about accumulating comfort, it is about reflecting the divine light. Joy is not something you desperately chase. It is the natural consequence of walking with someone you know who has a magnificent plan for you. Jesus came so that joy would have a name, and that name and the power it carries is with us even in the silent, empty places. So, here is the final essential question for you. If joy is missing in your life right now, what specific part of your heart have you quietly stopped giving to God? Joy doesn't drain without a reason, and it does not return without a sincere, deliberate response from you. Sit with that truth. Pray through that question. Let God speak to the specific, yet hidden area of your life that needs to be released. And when you are truly ready to invite His restoration back into your innermost being, go to the comments right now and simply type the powerful, declarative word, restore. Don't type it to pretend everything is fine, but type it to declare, God, I'm ready for you to rebuild my heart and restore what life has drained. The real life-altering question is this: are you ready to let Him rebuild your heart?